Well, it's official. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is Time Magazine's Person of the Year. They tweeted the announcement this morning. Earlier this week, the magazine released its shortlist of finalists, which included Liz Cheney, Ron DeSantis, and Elon Musk.
Other finalists were Xi Jinping, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, novelist and former Bezos wife Mackenzie Scott, the Supreme Court, gun safety advocates, and Iranian protesters.
And we should note it's not just Zelensky, but it's Zelensky and the spirit of Ukraine. And I should note that Adolf Hitler was Person of the Year in the World War II era because they don't. It's not necessarily the most admirable or best person or more upstanding person. It's the person they think was most important to or consequential for the year. And given that criteria, I think you absolutely can make a case that Zelensky is that person. Now, it also fits that he's being glorified there, and it's not.
Yeah, the picture
is really worshipful.
Also, the spirit of Ukraine. And look, war is horrible. People having to be exposed to those conditions, deserve all of the sympathy in the world. But it is very difficult to embrace this in that sort of a spirit when it seems to be part and parcel of a larger propagandistic effort that is geared toward preventing Americans from engaging meaningfully in a conversation about how this war is ever going to end. And when you've had a year where the Zelenskys have been featured in elite fashion magazine profiles, and on faux military sets with the wind
Hollywood
blowing in
has given them
hair.
Their awards, has handed him Oscars and
right. It does start to feel like a level of artifice that I'm not sure is exactly even helping his cause in terms of generating public sympathy at this point. And the statements that Zelensky himself has made whenever questioned about the path to peace are so adamant that anything along those lines is akin to hating the Ukrainian people, throwing them under the bus, a very how dare you give me more infinite amounts of money attitude. That again, you can feel the tide shifting in a way that profiles like this I don't think are gonna stop the way they might have in the past. So it's hard. It's hard because you want to be able to say true good things about people that you have empathy with without having to feel like you got to address the propagandistic nature that's undergirding it all.
So I had forgotten this, but Elon Musk was actually Person of the Year last year. I did not recall that. And then in 2020, it was Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And was it Trump in 2019? It might have been. Let's look that up. No, it was Greta Thunberg.
It's
yeah,
interesting.
I mean, this is a pretty random prize. I have to bring up every time this is addressed the infamous stunt, still the most ridiculous, hilarious. I think it was 2006 or 2007, 2006, when we were all Person of the Year. Briahna, you were Person of the Year,
with the mirror
and I was
on
Person
the
of the
cover.
Year, and you, the viewer, were Person of the Year because it was you with a little reflecty, stupid little mirror.
Well, look, who would you pick? Given that this
year?
isn't really about being a good person, but just an influential and impactful person.
Who would I pick as? I don't have a problem with Zelensky. The framing seems very deferential, but I think you could make the case that he was Person of the Year in terms of consequence. I mean, you could also probably say that equally and more so for Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, they should put them on the cover together.
Sorry. It's the only time you'll get them in a room together. The U.S. will have the magazine shut down.
I would have liked to maybe see these railroad workers. That, given what just happened with the strike breaking last week, where there was so much, it was so heartening to see all the bipartisan support for them and the bipartisan frustration with the Biden administration's choice, along with the support of most people in Congress on both sides of the aisle, to crush that strike, to use this weird 1920s law to weigh in and crush a labor movement in a way that very few other industries have that kind of exposure, have that ability for Congress to step in and take away their leverage. And people really saw what was happening there in a way that is often made opaque by media coverage and stressing what's going to happen to Christmas and the economy. People were hopping mad, and it would have been lovely to see that energy carried across into a mainstream publication like that, but that seems beyond hope.
This whole exercise is fraud because there's no real way to convey like who was the most consequential person this year. I mean, the consequential things that happen are the result usually of a confluence of factors in a lot of people. And you're right, sometimes they nod to that. Like I think there was the rescue workers were some combination of people. I mean, they've done so many stunts with this thing. The first responders, they love to do kind of stunt awards.
Dr. Fauci, he retired this year. He could have been an interesting choice.
Didn't he get it in the year of the pandemic? Person of the year? No, he did. I just went through him, right?
Yeah. I don't think so.
I think you could have make a case that he was the. But of course, that's very U.S. focused. Then that's
is it supposed to be more global?
Well, it's whole person of the year. It's not. It is supposed to be global. It's not just U.S. So actually, they should throw it to. I mean, right? That would invite the question of whether should Xi Jinping be most influential person of the year, possibly. So it's kind of a dumb thing, but.
Yeah, I mean, look, I wouldn't want to have to make.
I would
accept
it again.
Put another mirror on the front cover, and Robby will be a happy camper.
The journalist, this could have been more annoying.
That could have been good.
The misinformation reporter, the social media moderator, the fact checkers.
All right. Okay.
That would be horrible.
I do think there's a very fascinating case for it to be a focus on journalism. With there was some news that the Crown Prince responsible for Khashoggi's murder just got the clean bill of health from the U.S. court system and won't be prosecuted there. There's obviously conversations about the media finally covering Julian Assange in a way that is more purposeful and accurate than has been done in recent years.
Were the whistleblowers a person of the year sometime?
I mean, we're talking about the Twitter files release. Glenn Greenwald has been trending all week. There are a lot of reasons to put the spotlight on whistleblowers and vanguard journalism, independent journalism.
The whistleblowers were Times 2002 person of the year.
Okay, that was a while ago, 20 years. Maybe time to bring the whistleblower back.
And then there was the Me Too people were person of the year.
That's interesting because there was just a retrospective in New York Magazine.
Me
a week
Too
or so
movement
ago,
is
revisiting that and revisiting some of the mistakes that were made in that.
Yes, I think a lot of them were. Yeah. The Silence Breakers were person of the year in 2017, and they have they have all these people on the cover.
That feels right. Well, let us know in the comments who you think should be person of the year.
Yeah, we'll take your nomination.
And we'll have more Rising for you after this.